ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 9, Verse 19. Asuranam sudhadanam sarpanamiva durnayam matva jati ndrisham sanam nattam vyabhajat achyutah. Demons are by nature crooked like snakes. Therefore, to distribute a share of the nectar to them was not at all feasible, since this would be as dangerous as supplying milk to a snake. Considering this, the Supreme Person of Godhead who never falls down, Achyuta, Krishna is called Achyuta, he never falls down, did not deliver a share of nectar to the demons. So, does not fall down means that he is always transcendental. Does not fall down means his actions are always perfect. Whatever he does is best. Mm. Um, and many times we might not be able to understand why Krishna does what, but we should understand saying that his is the best decision. So here they're saying he's Achyuta. He didn't give the nectar to the demon because uh, demons are by nature crooked. You know what is crooked? How makes snakes what move? They don't go straight. They're crooked. So one of the important characteristics for Vaishnava is that he is straightforward. Actually, in this Vaishnava ke, there's discussion, lot of discussion about Vaishnava qualities, and those who are not straightforward, they're crooked. Meaning, you can't understand what they are saying. You know, like they'll be going somewhere left, suddenly they'll go somewhere right, suddenly they'll come somewhere. Meaning, we can't understand what their nature is. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, like snakes. So one has to be very careful, and for Vaishnava has to be always straightforward, humble, straightforward. You know, very simple principle. And if we can simply adopt this, our life will become very, very easy. Uh, we see, especially as you know, like preaching grows, temples grow. What happens is we will get people who are like this. So it's very important that they are corrected and trained at the right time. Because otherwise, what happens is like snakes, they will poison the whole environment. We have to be very, very careful, and which is why the role of a leader is very difficult, very, very difficult. Like I was saying, my Guru Maharaj always says that being a guru is the most difficult service to do. Because he says that, you know, Vaishnavas are above all correction. We still have to see mistakes in others and correct them, and it's very difficult because the Vaishnava doesn't feel himself qualified to correct anybody. So these kind of roles are very, very difficult to play because you know we have to keep people motivated in Krishna consciousness, at the same time make sure that they are not taking the wrong path. If you're only saying nice things to people, everybody will be happy. Nobody will feel unhappy. Right? But if we have to correct them, if we have to bring them to the right path, we will have to tell the truth. The truth might not be palatable to many. Right? So, um, So it's very, very important that devotees learn to remain straightforward. Straightforward now doesn't mean disrespectful. Straightforward just means it's easy for others to understand what we are. That's the simple way of saying, and crooked is just the opposite of it. It is said, Sarpa krura khala krura sarpat kruraha kalaha. Kala, kala means this crooked person, envious person. So here it's saying Sarpa kruraha. Sarpa is krura. Snakes are cruel. Why? Because they bite without any reason. Snakes don't need any reason to bite. Snakes, scorpions, it's their nature to just bite. So they're not going to see if somebody has done any mistake or something to bite. They will just bite. Their nature is to bite. So sarpaha kruraha, khalaha kruraha. Sarpat krurataraha khalaha. The envious person, the crooked person is also krura, but sarpat krurataraha. He is more crooked than snake. More cruel. So more crooked. And it says mantra aushadhi vasha sarpaha kalha kena nivaryate. Mantra aushadhi, you can control the snake by mantra and aushadhi. But kala kena nivaryate. But it is very difficult to control the crooked. Mm, because they don't want to come under anybody's control. So this is one of the characteristics of a crooked person, that he doesn't like control. He wants to remain independent. He wants to do whatever he wants to do. But he's kruraha. He's cruel. He's envious. Mm. So we have to be very, very careful. Considering this logic, the Supreme Personality of Godhead thought it unwise to distribute nectar to the demons. So this discrimination is required. See, a person who is in the topmost platform of devotion called Uttamadhikari, he cannot see, he cannot distinguish between right and wrong. For him, everybody is good. Everybody is somehow serving Krishna. It is difficult for us to understand because we are in this platform of right and wrong. But they can't see right and wrong because they don't see anything material at all. But for us, we have to see right and wrong. Of course, it's not that we go about, trumpeting that somebody is bad or anything like that. But we have to discriminate. We have to discriminate who is good to associate with, who is not good to associate with, and we have to associate with those who are good. And what does good mean? Good doesn't mean material good. Good means having Vaishnava qualities. Good means having focus only on achieving Krishna, pleasing Guru, very respectful of others, surrendered, humble. This is good in our dictionary, the dictionary of devotee. This is good. And we have to have that kind of association. That is what is going to make all the difference. Otherwise, the world is full of crooked people. Yesterday, my daughter was talking to me. She was saying about her office. She's doing her internship in a company. And so she was saying that people are so self-centered. They all they all worry about themselves, and they want to pull down others because they want to, by pulling down others, they will feel great, right? They'll feel that, see, I'm better than this person. And so she was saying, but this world is like, it's so difficult to deal with such people. I said, yeah, because you're a devotee, you can't deal with all this. And but you still have to learn to deal with this because this is the world, this is the material world. Right, which is why it is very difficult for devotees to live in a society, especially if we make a lot of progress in Krishna consciousness. We can't deal with material people. We can't deal with this world. We feel that they're all so selfish, so mean, so crooked, so envious, and we like to remain in the association of devotees who don't have these qualities. And which is why we want to think of this farm community, because farm community is the only way by which devotees can stay together in a Krishna conscious environment. City life is doesn't allow for that, right? Of course, I mean, many devotees here are very fortunate because they are staying very close to the center and they can associate with other devotees and do services and all that. But otherwise, it's pretty difficult. If you don't have like a preaching movement around, if you're not in the middle of a preaching movement, then life will be just like any other karmi, go to work, earn money, house, then, send children to school, then problems, all these problems. Yesterday, I had gone to meet somebody who had a bad marriage. So, so Mataji is a devotee, Prabhu, husband is not a devotee. And it's so difficult. Now I was feeling saying, being a devotee also, that Mataji is going through so much trouble. Of course, Krishna has certain things to be, for everybody to learn from their situations. But I was just thinking, they couldn't find like whatever suitable boy, right? So finally, they got their daughter married to a person who was actually, it was a second marriage. But because they agreed, saying that okay, no, we will do bhakti, this, that, and all that, they just believed. Future dated check. And now, not just that he's not doing bhakti, he's not even like doesn't seem to come across as a responsible husband. Responsible husband means, taking care of, each other at home. It's a very basic requirement. Not that we don't have to show excessive love. That is material, mundane, right? But care and affection is part of Vedic culture. It's not like, it's not strange to care for people in the house and to show affection. Affection has to be shown to all Vaishnavas, to all Jivas. So, what is the question of not showing to people at home? But people are not trained, right, about these aspects. And that Mataji's problem was that the husband was very self-centered. Self-centered, not just centered around himself, centered around his father, his mother, his brother, his sister, but not the wife. Right. So, which means basically parents don't know how to deal with the daughter-in-law. Man doesn't know how to deal with a wife, and it just results in trouble. Why? Because the whole world is self-centered. Right? She possibly was not considered as part of the house. Right? So she was being treated differently. So anyway, the world is full of crooked people. So devotees at least should not be like that and should not be in the association of such people. If unfortunately we have to deal with such people, then we have to pray for strength from Krishna. And hopefully, if it gets too bad, then just come out, come out of that association. Find a better place to work. Yeah, that's part of surrender. Verse 20. Kalpayitva prutak panktir ubhayesham jagatpatihi chopaveshayam asa sweshu sweshu cha panktishu. The Supreme Person of Godhead, as Mohini Murti, the Master of the universe, arranged separate lines of sitting places and seated the demigods and demons according to their positions. So now she's going to distribute the nectar. So she's making everybody sit down. Daityan Ghrita Kalaso Vanchayan Upasancharaihi Durasthan Payayamasa Jaramrutyu Haram Sudham. Taking the container of nectar in her hands, she first approached the demons, satisfied them with sweet words, and thus cheated them of their share of the nectar. Then she administered the nectar to the demigods, who were sitting at a distant place, to make them free from invalidity, old age, and death. Of course, this making them free from death means not that they will not die at all. They will have a long life. That's what it means. Because there's nothing like immortality. It's all relative. It just becomes, if you live law for lot more years, it just looks like immortality. That's all. But there isn't any immortality in there. Mm. So she satisfied them with sweet words. Cheating. So one learning. Be careful with people who just speak sweet words. Very, very dangerous. I've had very, very bad experience, especially even in devotee community, where people come, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you're so great, you're like this, you're like that. And Piche say, you know, just stabbing from behind, not in front. In front, very nice. Be very, very careful with people who are just all the time sweet. Nobody can be all the time sweet, right? Of course, it's not that we have to become like caustic or, like a demon, right? But sometimes you might not say sweet words because you want the welfare of the other person. So you will say words for the person's betterment, which might not be sweet. Right? Sweet words means I want to hear what I want to hear, right? If I get to hear what I like to hear, then very nice. Okay, this person is so nice. But then you feel that it's actually that sweetness or that is not coming from within. Yeah, you can make out it comes here only in the face. It doesn't come from the heart, and you can make out that smile or whatever is so hollow. But somehow they used to doing things like that. I don't know why. Mm. So be wary. Be wary. Mm. And somebody just see it's Vaishnava etiquette is to glorify other devotees. Okay, but it's not that all the time, is like, is like too sweet. When it becomes too sweet, you have to be careful. Just be careful. Just don't accept it at face value. Just be careful. Just uh, yeah, be on guard. Right, that's the point. Be on guard because anytime the front sweet words. I had one very bad experience. Some junior devotee in the temple, and he used to always speak very, very nice, nicely. And he was a nice devotee. I mean, I used to like him generally. Nice devotee, young couple, and then some other time something else happened, and there was some other devotee, and these two people were talking, and this devotee was talking about that he was in under my guidance, and he was saying something, and then he just spoke something which was completely opposite, disrespectful, and like dismissing me. But it's okay. I mean, I don't have any problem anybody dismissing me. Let them dismiss me in front. I have no problem. If there is something that I need to learn, I'm happy to learn. But a person who smiles in front of you and goes and talks about you behind your back is very, very non-Vaishnava. Very non-Vaishnava. It's the worst. Actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says in Vaishnava K, saying that this is called hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means saying something, having something else in heart. Is the nature of this material world, right? And it's the worst character for a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava should never be hypocrite. Simple, straightforward, humble. That's all. Simple. In terms of dealings, this is how we have to be. So you have to be very careful. Mohini Murti, the person of God, had gave the demigod seats at a distance. Then she approached the demons and spoke with them very graciously, so that they thought themselves very fortunate to talk with her. Of course, sometimes demons have to be dealt with in their own way. We can't help it. Since Mohini Murti had seated the demigods at a distant place, the demons thought that the demigods would get only a little of the nectar, and that Mohini Murti was so pleased with the demons that she would give the demons all the nectar. So this is what they assumed. So this is another very important thing to understand, which is why every line of Prabhupada's statements makes us think. Saying that, see, demons are assuming something which is not there. Right? So in life also, we should never assume things in situations. We generally assume something actually is happening, but we assume something else, which is not there at all. So once what happened, I had put a message on our Seva groups about something generic. I put a generic statement. It was an instruction for everybody, generally saying that, don't avoid this kind of thing. But then one devotee took it personally, and he assumed saying that I was talking about him. It's not you. Okay. Now, because we also had one instance, and this was in, Vijayanagar center. And then it went to such an extent that he wanted to disconnect. So then I was surprised actually, because I know this devotee for many years. Then I said, like, Prabhu, what happened? Something seems to have changed. What happened? Then he was not ready to talk at all. Then he said, no, stop, that is and all. Then I said, no, but something should have happened, right? I mean, we know each other for 15 years. What happened? If there's something that, if I've done something wrong, please tell me. I'm happy to correct myself. If there's something wrong I've done. Then after a lot of coaxing, then he said, saying that, see, you put this message. I said, Prabhu, that was not for you at all. Why did you assume that it was for me? It was a simple thing, one single conversation. Narayan Prabhu, was this intended for me? Would have solved the problem. See, why don't we put names? We don't put names in the groups because it's offensive. It's not good. It's not good etiquette, right? But we also want others also to understand. So we put a general instruction so that everybody will learn. But then if somebody wants to misunderstand, and it was just an assumption, it was this totally baseless. It was totally baseless. Then I said, Prabhu, what is this? One simple, you could have just talked to me and just asked saying that, Prabhu, is this for me? And just get some reference saying that why I said or whatever, right? And it would have been over. And okay, even if it is for that person, what is the problem? It's for improvement only, right? See, if we, which is the reason why accepting a guru is a very difficult task. Because when we accept a guru, that guru is going to tell anything and everything to us for our benefit is something which is very difficult to digest, right? And so, like, last time, like, I had gone to meet my Guru Maharaj, and then, generally I tell standards to everybody, right? So, and I was talking about standards with Maharaj, and then I had a book in my hand, which I kept on my lap. And immediately Maharaj said, I was talking about standards, to set standards to start with, maybe you don't have to keep the book on your lap. It was so simple, straightforward, and it was most important instruction because I didn't know that. Now, if you feel, no, 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 how is this possible? See, I give guidance to so many people, and what is wrong in case? No, wrong means wrong. That's all over. Close topic. No more processing is required. Right now, what is the issue? What is the issue of accepting something and learning?
Hare
But
Krishna, Prabhu.
somehow devotees don't like this. One second, let me finish.
Okay.
Sometimes devotees, they feel that's. See, it's like Prabhupada always says that, we see the world, the color of, if we are wearing a yellow glass, you see the whole world as yellow, right? Because have a certain nature, we feel that others are also, maybe we have a nature to tell bad about somebody just to make them feel bad or something. Maybe that's our nature. And we feel that the other person is also doing the same thing to us. Not necessarily. Right? See, which is why, see, in a Vaishnava community, it's very, very important to understand intentions of people involved. Sometimes some conversations might happen, it might go left, right, etc. But we should not get too carried away by conversations. We should get carried away, or we should go in the mood. We should understand the mood of people involved. Right? So it's very important. See, they made an assumption. Demons made an assumption and they were wrong. Their assumption was wrong. So these things are very, very important. Very important. It's a very simple thing to simply ask, and that requires zero false ego. Only if you have zero false ego can we do this. If we have false ego, we can't. And I've told this multiple times. I had so much false ego when I got initiated, and my Guru Maharaj so mercifully in 15 years has hammered me without speaking a word. He's not spoken a word. He's hammered my false ego completely just by the way he dealt with me. And it's amazing. Today, if I stand here and I say, I used to feel so bad. Guru Maharaj never used to speak to me. He used to speak to everybody else. And I was always, every time he used to come, I used to feel bad, saying that, see, again, I'm going to go through the same thing. But something in me just said, just be patient. You can't understand, but he's right. Whatever he's doing, he's guru, he's representative of Krishna. And it took me so many years to understand that whatever he did was to just hammer my false ego. Even today, once in a while, not regularly, once in a while, my false ego wakes up, once in a while. But then at least I have come to the stage where I can beat my own false ego right now and say, stop it. And immediately it can like switch like this in the midst of a conversation. I can switch. The mood can switch from being upset to becoming receptive in within the completion of a sentence. Because see that so much hammering, when you go through so much hammering, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. Like, but when you go through hammering, it's painful. Very, very painful. Which is why 15 years of my devotional life has been simply hammering, hammering, hammering. Bodily hammering, mind hammering, all kinds of hammering. Right? Why? Because if you don't hammer, how will the murti come? If you need a shape, right? There has to be a shape for the deity. And then, whatever craftsman, he has to hammer, 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 hammer. Mm. There's one very nice story which is given. I don't know if I can recollect it fully, but there was one, yeah, one wood or marble, something like that, stone. Um, right. So there were two pieces of stone. Uh, One piece of stone. So they had chosen both pieces of stone to see, okay, can we make a deity from this stone? So then both stones were talking to each other. See, we are so fortunate, we've been chosen and all that. Then the guy, the whoever Shilpi, he took the Shilpi, Shilpi and Shilpi Mataji came. So he took, the his hammer and chisel and he started chiseling. Chick, 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 chick. And then this one stone is saying, "Oh no, no, no! I can't bear so much pain. Don't do this. Don't do this to me." He said, "Okay, fine." Then he went to the other stone and he started. And this stone didn't say anything. It was just happily saying, "Okay, this is my nature. This is what I'm meant for, and this is my perfection of my life. Because if as a stone, if I can, become the murti of Lord, then my life is perfect." So then he kept quiet, and chisel, 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 and then beautiful form of the Lord was came out. And then he went on the altar. Lord entered him, and then he's like, everybody's worshiping him and all that. Then this other stone, other stone was at the entrance of the temple. It became the stone, stepping on which people came in. And then these two stones were still talking. See, you were so fortunate you went there. Yes. And then the other stone said, see, you're more fortunate than me. Now all the Vaishnavas are going to put their foot on you and you're going to become more pure and you can also perfect your life. So like that. So we have to understand that when beating is there, just understand that it is for our best. It is the best thing that is happening to us. Mm. Many times it's difficult. Many times, when we enter into a situation, and we are short-sighted. We can't see the big picture. Yeah. And we'll feel so much of pain. And we look at other people and say, see, they're all so nice. They're all so nicely doing bhakti. Why can't I do bhakti like that? All this, but you're not able to understand that you are being chiseled, which means that you will possibly come to a stage where you can do better bhakti. Mm. Today I was talking to some devotee who came and told me something about their experience in chanting. And I said, it's too high for me. What the devotee said was, it's too high for me, meaning I have not reached that stage. And that devotee is already experiencing something in their chanting. Mm. And then I was thinking, saying that, see, there's so many great devotees. We don't know. We don't know. Right? So we should feel fortunate to be in the association of such devotees and practice devotion. And we should be humble. It humbled me, saying that, yeah, you can sit on Vyasasana and say 150 things, but you not experience what the devotee experienced in chanting. Mm. So we should understand that, it's all Krishna. I could have become egoistic. I could have said, no, 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 whatever you experience is wrong. Why are you doing like this, that, and all that, and misdirect the devotee. But I said, no. I said, no, it's much higher than my level of devotion. Mm. And it just humbled me. So this is beating, this beating is required all that time. We should keep getting beaten. Only then we can understand, otherwise we can't go back to Krishna. We can't go back to Krishna. Same thing, yesterday's conversation with the devotee, I asked, what did you learn from your bad marriage or whatever situations that have happened? It's so unfortunate that Mataji was actually very humble and nice, respectful of in-laws, people at home. She never raised her voice and she was nice, like a perfect, like out of the books kind of, behavior. And then, I was surprised after this incident, she's saying, I should not have been so nice to them. This is my learning. I said, boss, this is like completely opposite to Krishna consciousness. This is not what you should have learned. You should have depended more on Krishna. ये बाहर जा रहा है वो. ये क्या? शिल्पी माता जी there. Huh? So that's not what you're supposed to learn, right? What you're supposed to learn is that, when there are situations which are difficult, I become more humble, I become more dependent on Krishna. But then what the devotee learned from that situation was completely opposite, saying that no, no, I should not be so good to others. Why? Obviously, because there is no quality hearing possibly happening. So they're not able to understand how to even look at life or life situations. But Prabhupada's words are just there. That's why I'm saying sometimes I get stuck with from one statement. Because there will be so much depth in that statement, that we have to think about it. We have to think about it. And instances happen for help to which help me to connect to what Prabhupada is writing to reality, right? So that's my fortune uh, that all problems come to me. So I'm fortunate because then I can't realize these statements if no problems come to me, right? Um, so though that is also an austerity to be able to deal with. Just imagine, every time somebody or the other's problem, something or the other is always there. Like my devotional progress itself is like I'm struggling. Like that's not enough, right? Then there are other devotees, their lives, their problems, but it's all Krishna's mercy. It's just I know that even if I don't realize it today, it's not for my spiritual progress only. So we should never assume anything. It's always good to have a nice, humble, respectful conversation to clarify the matter. And if it is really us, and if we can figure out what it was and correct ourselves, then nothing like it. What is the issue? There's no issue. Yeah, Ankita Mataji.
Prabhu, the message is lost to me. Why did you go for Guru Maharaj? I mean, I want you to repeat that. The voice shook at my end.
Why did I go to Maharaj? No, I went to
When
Guru
Guru
Maharaj
Maharaj
for something.
suggested, he
No.
said not to put the book on the lap, right? Why did you go?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was
So
the
I
discussion?
was talking. Yeah, yeah. So I was discussing something and I was showing something from a book, etc. And then I took the book back from Maharaj, and the conversation was still going on. And unconsciously, whatever, we don't keep, at least in South India, our practice always has been that books are not kept they can be kept on the lap, but not below the knee. That was what the practice we had learned. So then I took that book from Maharaj and then I kept it on my lap. And then in the middle of the conversation, Raj checked him. Mhm. Okay, you're talking about standards, but you can start with not keeping the book on your lap.
Lap.
Yeah. So yeah, that was what it was.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So books are not supposed to
Okay. The
be
words,
book. Books
yeah,
we
that's
should
what it
not
is.
keep on laps, right, Prabhu? Because I have
Yeah.
seen many
Yeah.
people while preaching they put on the lap. I also read it putting on the lap
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes. So we can stop from today.
Okay.
Yeah. The words Vanchayan Upasancharaihi indicate that the Lord's whole policy was to cheat the demon simply by speaking sweet words. The Lord's intention was to distribute the nectar only to the demigod. There's a reason for it, right? So Lord is called impartial, not partial to anybody. But those who are surrendered to him, the Lord will protect him, right? And those who are Bhagavatam also says based on the modes which are driving a particular person. For example, if somebody is being driven by rajas and tamas, which is mostly demons, then because their nature is demoniac, they will. It is the reciprocation of the Lord is that uh, he will not benefit them in a way that is going to be detrimental for them. Meaning, if suppose say he'll say, okay, no, I'm impartial. I will give nectar to both. He will be responsible for destroying the demons. Meaning, because they're going to become even more powerful, they're going to do even more nasty things. So, it is the Lord's mercy when He doesn't, show some kind of impartiality. But at the end of the day, there's no impartiality because even the demons who die in the presence of the Lord get moksha. Prabhupada was saying that Gnanis take like multiple lifetimes to achieve Sahibja Mukti, which very easily somebody who dies in front of Krishna just immediately goes to get moksha. So how can we say that Lord is uh, partial? What partiality? I mean, a person who would have possibly gone to hell He just goes to, Vaikunta. Isn't that the greatest mercy? Why would we say that he's partial? So Lord is not partial, but he's especially inclined towards his devotee. Hmm. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am their friend and they're my friend. He's a person more closer to friends or strangers or people in general. He's obviously more closer to friends. So, which is the special relationship that devotees can have with Krishna? Okay, verse 22. Te palayantah samayam asura swakritam nripa tushnim asan krita snehaha stri vivada jugupsaya. O king, since the demons had promised to accept whatever the woman did, whether just or unjust, now to keep this promise, to show their equilibrium, see again hypocrisy, and to save themselves from fighting with a woman, they remained silent. Okay, one part is dharmic, is that one should not fight with a woman. So that part is dharmic in demons, but they wanted to show their equilibrium. Why? Because others will laugh at them. so, so not to put a bad, like not to be seen. Um, yeah, just to portray that they are, still superior and in control of their statement, etc. They decided not to fight. Mm. And in the bargain, they lost nectar. They didn't get the nectar. So again, this is also, some kind of hypocrisy only, right? Like though inside they are burning, outside they will just smile. Um, Sometimes it's good because if we are demoniac and we, instead of bringing out our demoniac nature outside, we smile at somebody to control our inner bad emotions, it's good, right? That's just to protect ourselves from destroying ourselves. Tasyam kritati pranayaha pranayapaya kataraha bahumanena cha baddha no chukinchana vipriyam. The demons had developed affection for Mohini Murti and a kind of faith in her, and they were afraid of disturbing their relationship. Therefore, they showed respect and honor to her words and did not say anything that might disturb their friendship with her. And the demons had developed affection for Mohini Murti. How much time? In how much time they developed affection for Mohini Murti? Hmm. That is why she's Mohini Murti. Hmm. Illusory. Just a few seconds, right? Few seconds of, and just more than seconds, just by seeing. This is the most dangerous thing, right? Which is why I keep saying. Hmm. We should control. We should be in control of what our eyes see. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because it is conditioned. The senses are conditioned. We see what we have been wanting to see all our lives, previous lives. So we can understand by the kind of things that our eyes want to see, the ears want to hear, how fallen or elevated we are. It's simple test. It doesn't require any further great analysis. Just the kind of things that our senses get attracted to shows our fallen or elevated state. It's very simple. If I know so many devotees are me very clean in heart, and their senses don't get dragged towards nasty things, low class things, and so I know then they're all very exalted devotees. Mm. And I know that I'm fallen. So it's important to note this, that we are whatever direction our senses pull us. Mm. Mm. I remember, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I never used to sing much, but old Hindi songs used to be like a big favorite for me. I even forgot all those singers, Mukesh, Mohammed Rafi, all these kind. I mean, I used to like just love those songs and old songs, not the modern jing bang, right? Of course, there is really no meaning. It's just the tune and the way they have sung, etc. And when I came into Krishna consciousness, I used to see that naturally, wherever, somewhere, some auto guy, somebody is playing Hindi song, I would go, and sing along. Like very easy. Simply something I heard, my ears are like running. So like this, we might have so many kinds of anarthas, and we can clearly identify where our anarthas are, how much impurity is there, how much impurity is left to go. All this, which is what Krishna consciousness makes us is more introspective. We can just see ourselves more clearly. How much nonsense is there, how much good is there, everything we can see. And our work is to correct ourselves, make sure that that dirty aspect goes off. Anyway, so the demons developed affection for Mohini Murthy. Of course, she was irresistible, right? Because she was the Lord. Who could have resisted? Who can resist Krishna? Nobody can resist Krishna. Right now, whether he comes as a male or a female, it's the same attraction, right? It's the same attraction. Where did I? Oh, yeah, yeah. One very nice incident. This is in. Okay, this is part of pastime of Krishna, where Krishna, when Krishna is in Dwaraka, then there is a something called as Navavrindavan, which is created. Okay, Navavrindavan was created by Vishwakarma because Krishna was feeling a lot of separation from Vrindavan, so he created Navavrindavan. And at one time, what happens? That so Radha, so all the gopis vanish from Vraja, right? Because they can't take the separation from Krishna. So, in different, very strange, unusual ways, they disappear. The gopis disappear. Okay, and then they appear elsewhere as daughters of other kings and so on and so forth. Um, and so, like the Radha was born as Satyabhama. Radha appears as Satyabhama. And then, some reason, somehow Satyabhama happens to like come to Rukmini, and then she puts her in Navavrinda. Okay. And she's actually doing this because she wanted to avoid her husband, which is Dwaraka Krishna, from seeing Satyabhama because like she was like extremely beautiful. Right? Like Rukmini was like a spark of fire in front of sun, in terms of beauty. So she became so, what is that? Insecure. Right? She said, okay, okay, my husband should not see her. So thinking she puts her in Navavrindavan. Now, Krishna once in a while, without Rukmini's knowledge, used to go to Vrindavan whenever he feels separation, too much separation from Vrindavan. So then, once he goes there, and what was the incident? So yeah, so there is one Murti of Krishna which was carved by Vishwakarma, which looks exactly like Krishna. So Krishna is walking in that in Vrindavan. Suddenly he sees this beautiful form of Krishna. And he says, "Who is this? So beautiful." Even I can't like. I mean, I am so attracted to this person. Madhumangal is there with him. Krishna, it's you only. It's me. Oh, and then he says, like so. Then suddenly, when they are discussing like this, then suddenly Satyabhama comes in that path. So they hear sounds and all that. Then Krishna says, Madhumangal, okay, you take over. Let's put this murti some other place. I will stand here. So Krishna stands there as a murti, and he's just like same. He's just same, right? Which is why Krishna's clothes are never multicolored, right? It's always yellow. So always be the same, so he's and Satyabhama comes and looks at now she's confused. I mean, she's thinking obviously that it's a murti, right? But then she's so attracted to Krishna that then she comes and then but Krishna is trying hard to remain fixed like a murti, and she's decorating him, she's putting flowers, this, that, and all that. And something else happens, then Rukmini also comes at that time, somehow due to some arrangement. Anyway, so many things happen. Then basic point is that that attraction towards Krishna, whether that Krishna is a murti or whether Krishna is real, that attraction is the same. You can't make any difference, because it's Krishna, because that attraction is at the level of the soul. Right? So our soul is attracted to Krishna. So whether he is in male, female, whether he's in murti form, whether he's in moving form, and the same attraction we have to develop towards the Nama, which is just another form of Krishna. Same attraction, the attraction we feel when we see Radha and Krishna in Murti form. Of course, I have not seen Radha and Krishna really. So, seen them in Murti form, and so the attraction that I have towards that Murti, the same attraction has to develop to the Nama also, because Nama is also another form of Krishna. And when the impurities go, we get connected to the Nama also. Similarly, just like we get connected to the form. Anyway, so many great devotees are sitting here. Krishna is making so many things. Yeah, so they were afraid of distributing their relationship with her. So yeah, so they showed respect to her, did not say anything. The demons were so captivated by the tricks and friendly words of Mohini Murti that although the demigods were served first, the demons were pacified merely by sweet words. The Lord said to the demons, the demigods are very miserly and are excessively anxious to take nectar first. So let them have it first. So smart words. Hmm. Krishna is just putting them down, saying that, see, they are too anxious. They're very miserly. They're extremely anxious to take nectar first. You're not like that, no? Obviously, demons say, yes, 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 we're not like that. So let them have it first. Since you're not like them, you can wait a little longer. You're all heroes. You're all heroes and so are pleased with me. It's better for you to wait until after demigods. So, Madhuradipate Rakhilam Madhuram, whatever Krishna does is sweet. So he wants to cheat, that cheating is also sweet. Chaurastakam. So, anyway, so he cheats very simply. Nothing is difficult for Krishna, no? Everything is like cakewalk. What happened to this? This also is not going. Oh, give me your 24. It's not going. Okay, it went. Okay, 24. Devalinga pratikshannah Svarbhanurdev samsadi pravishta somam apibat chandrarkabhyam cha suchitaha. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of the sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Person of Godhead. Now you might be wondering how Supreme Person of Godhead didn't notice. It's his will. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation, thus Rahu was detected. But what? The Supreme Person of Godhead, Mohini Murti, was able to bewilder all the demons. But Rahu was so clever that he was not bewildered. Rahu could understand that Mohini Murti was cheating the demons. And therefore, he changed his dress, disguised himself as a demigod, and sat down in the assembly of demigods. Here, one may ask why the Supreme Person of Godhead could not detect Rahu. The reason is that the Lord wanted to show the effects of drinking nectar. This will be revealed in the following verses. The moon and sun, however, were always alert in regard to Rahu. He came and sat just between two of them. Thus, when Rahu entered the assembly of demigods, the moon and sun immediately detected him. And then the Supreme Person of Godhead also became aware of him. Chakrena Kshuradharena Jahara Pipata Shiraha Aristasya Kabandhastu Sudhaya Plavitopatat. Supreme Person of Godhead Hari, using his disc, which was sharp like a laser, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body being untouched by nectar could not survive. When the person of Godhead Mohini Murti severed Rahu's body, the head remained alive. Although the body died. Rahu had been drinking nectar through his mouth, and before the nectar entered his body, his head was cut off. Thus, Rahu's head remained alive, whereas the body died. This wonderful act performed by the Lord was meant for the nectar. Nectar is miraculous ambrosia. Ambrosia means something that is drunk in heaven. Uh, uh, and the holy name is supposed to be more sweeter than ambrosia. At sweetest. Yeah. You're jaundiced, right? When you're jaundiced, you can't taste. Sugarcane juice doesn't taste sweet. It's okay, but we give you the treatment, isn't it? Keep drinking, and slowly we'll regain sweet. Anyway, so we'll stop here. Harinama, we have to remember It's the form. It's a beautiful form of Krishna. It's the most attractive form of Krishna. It's the most sweet form of Krishna. Uh, it's everything. Mm. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there is nothing beyond the Nama in all the 14 worlds. But we have to reach that stage of realizing that Nama is everything. Mm. So we have to try hard every day, getting up at, Brahma Muhurta, chanting Hare Krishna. Mm. And I'm actually happy in one sense, because from the time we started this morning program here at Pulimau to now, I see that so many devotees chanting has improved. Mm. Many devotees previously in the beginning were like very sleepy, not good chanting. Nama was not coming out of the mouth. Still, I'm trying with some devotees whose Nama is not coming out from their mouth. Uh, but yeah, many others have actually changed, and I think everybody is feeling better. Right, the chanting seems to have a little bit improved from the beginning. But yeah, this is the path to perfection. Okay, so I'll close here. If anybody has any questions, comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
like as you mentioned that you don't keep the scriptures on the lap. If you see in the olden days and even now, the pandits who carry the Bhagavatam or anything, it is always wrapped in a red cloth, and they carry a folding table.
Yeah.
And it's kept stand, and
Yeah.
they read it and they keep it on the table and then they read it and they wash hands. They don't, like, even if they have to, and they close it or whatever it is. They always offer a flower, or if they don't have, of course, but if they're reading at home, and it's always wrapped in a
Okay. Yeah,
red
it's a
cloth.
good
It's in
point.
like not like us, Prabhu, kahin bhi table pe pade, like anywhere it is.
Yeah.
And
Good practice. Good practice.
huh,
We can incorporate this. Yeah.
and another thing I would like to say, Prabhu, like you were mentioning about your journey, your meeting a person. We cannot generalize, because if I mean I don't want to talk on an open this thing. Like I want to throw, like I see even Prabhu, even yesterday there was, you just cannot generalize. At times you cannot take in. At times because sometimes the karmis are much better than the devotees. But yeah, you're a devotee, so you have the license. Oh, chant kar rahe hain, so devotee hai, so you let go. The karmis, you have people who are helpful, soft-hearted. Like ठीक है प्रभु, like चैतन्य महाप्रभु भी बोलते हैं ना, जो निंदा करते हैं उनको पास में रखो, at least you know what your shortcomings are. But I mean, this sort of everybody, I suppose, every devotee has his own journey, and I mean, the many things we see in the temple also, and they are as or good or bad as what we see in a karmi world. But then one thing we realize, and we should realize, there are all sorts of people come to the temple also. You have, like, even Prabhupada says, वहाँ चोर भी आता है, वहाँ सौकर भी आता है, वहाँ भगवान को देखने वाला भी आता है, वहाँ inquisitiveness वाला भी आता है. So it depends on what sort of a person you meet also from time to time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Vamshi Prabhu has a question here. Yeah. Rahu is a demon. Rahu is a demon. Ketu is a demon. And Rahu and Ketu come in your house in what form? Onion and garlic. Yeah, because they have been accepted as the two reverse grahas. That's why you do like two reverse, no? When you do Navagraha, you don't do all only clockwise. You do two anti-clockwise. You're supposed to do. If you ever knew, you're supposed to do two anti-clockwise pradakshina. Because they're demons. Yeah, because Krishna took them as he accepted them as one of the gods. Why? Because you also have to have bad karma, no? Who will bring you bad karma? So you need all kinds of people, right? So Krishna also requires such people in his creation. But they are serving the Lord. So that way but they have a job to do, which is to create problem. Anyway. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Rohit Prabhu unmuted, but he's here only. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Ankita.
Okay, Prabhu, we did not read about Ketu, na? We read only till Rahu, till
Yeah, only Rahu
till
only came
okay.
here. In this
Okay.
incident, only Rahu came.
Okay, I thought I got distracted. Okay, and one more thing, Prabhu. Yesterday, just a conversation between a woman's body,
Hmm.
woman's body and men's body. Okay, so woman. Yesterday, in one of the line, we read that woman who has no protection,
Hmm.
she's loitering. Loitering.
Loitering, yeah.
She.
Loitering means we should understand not that we are going from one shop to another, we are loitering. No, not that kind of loitering. Uh, this loitering is basically looking for companions, looking for some sense gratification, basically prostitute kind of nature.
Okay, and who has no protection should not be trusted, because I have
Yeah.
seen couple of women, Prabhu. Their husbands are they're very rude. They had some illegal affairs, and also they left. They are taking care of their children on their own. They're doing work. They are not under any protection. But still, they those kind of women are in general very respectful, Prabhu.
No, they're respectful, but they can be cheated. No, that's the whole problem. The whole problem. See, we have to understand this thing. One thing we have to understand, right? Again, I'm saying this not because I've told repeatedly, right? Atma, the devotees in female body, don't take it personally. We might have also been in female bodies before. You might have been in male bodies before. So don't take it personally. It's connected to the body and its nature. The nature of the woman's body, it is emotional. It's not rational. It's the nature. That's why some English author wrote, "Men are from Mars, women are from Venus,"
नानी
because
को दे दो कुछ पहले.
because uh, because the natures are opposite. Men are rational. Yesterday, day before, like my mother, she's aged and she's having like so many problems. She keeps coming and telling every day, something or the other, and there's hardly anything that I can do. And normally I tell her saying that just wait for one day. We'll see if it settles, if something. But she's very impatient. She doesn't want to wait. She keeps telling me, and then I told saying that you keep telling all these things. How do I find solutions for everything on a daily basis? She said, no, no, no. You have to just listen to what I say. I said, yeah, I've heard this before also. This is women's nature. Even at the age of 82, she's not given up her nature. So this is just to highlight saying that nature continues, right? And that emotional nature, what happens is that at some point of time when life becomes very difficult, then anybody for that matter will become weak hearted, right? And those are more emotional become more weak hearted. And that is very, what is the word? Mm, what is the word? Like susceptible, right? At that point of time, that anything can happen. Somebody comes and shows some, kind of feelings. Oh, yeah, yeah, see, you're going through so much, this, that. Then they feel that, okay, this person, so the whole world doesn't care for me, this person cares for me, and then they'll get carried away. Right? So the emotional nature of women is what makes them need protection. It's not that they are bad nature, right? But the nature itself is like that. The woman's body is like that. And which is why Shastra says that they have to be protected all the time. So we have to understand this. It's like, yeah, and of course, it's again not a generalization, but it's a general nature. It's a general nature. Maybe some people are not like that. Some, others might be different. But that nature is there. And when we get emotional, we take wrong decisions. It's very simple, right? We all experience, even men experience this, right? When we get emotional, we'll go wrong, take a wrong decision. And too much of rationality is also not good. It's not that any of this nature is superior to the other. The only and the best nature is to be a servant of Krishna, right? All other natures are inferior. But we should understand that our bodies and they bring certain nature, right? And we have to deal with that nature, um, and still perform do devotional service. So that protection is required. I've seen multiple like situations, right? And which is why, like for example, my Guru Maharaj is very particular, right? Like saying that no, women have to be married. Why? Because they don't know today, right? But future, they know, they've seen. Why? Because they are seers of truth. What is that verse? Tadvidhi pranipadena gnanyas tattvadarshinaha. They are tattvadarshis. Tattvadarshis means they've seen the truth. Meaning they know exactly. They don't have to have been in this life. They were not grihasthas. They don't have to be grihasthas. because they have all the knowledge revealed to them. So they know exactly how this world works. So when they say something, you have to understand saying that, okay, this is true. So these things are important to understand. It just protects, it's just for welfare of the jivas that, these kinds of things are there in the Shastra. Okay. Saturday, enjoy. I also don't have work. I anyway don't have work. Okay, anything else? Okay, no more questions. Okay, then we'll close.
प्रभु शास्त्र तो बोलता है ना लकड़ी की भी औरत नहीं देखनी चाहिए
लकड़ी की भी
औरत नहीं
Oh,
देखनी चाहिए
yeah, obviously, yeah. Wood in the
A
form of
wooden,
a
a
wooden doll,
wooden,
wooden doll,
yeah, wooden doll.
doll in the form of a woman also should not be seen. Yes, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll close here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhu Bhyavasya Patidana Pavanebhyo. Yeah, one disclaimer. Okay, devotees are respectful just because